Hey guys, today I wanted to talk to you about the Kizer Meteora. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It's Meteora. Meteora is how I think it's pronounced. A top flipper knife from Kizer. They were nice enough to send this to me to do a review, to check it out. I've been carrying it. I've been cutting with it, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about it because it's extremely unique in a couple of different ways, and most importantly to me is sliceability and ergonomically. That's to where I think it absolutely excels. But what you have is you've got a Nitro-V blade, and you've got Richlite handles. You can choose this. I think it also has a choice of an aluminum handle. This particular model, if I'm not mistaken, is right around 70 bones. But this Richlite is gorgeous. I've heard from people in chat that it's similar to a paper micarta. To me, it looks kind of like stabilized wood. However, it's Richlite. This blue has blue thumb stud there, liner lock, top flipper. Does have a reversible clip, so you can put the clip on either or side, and it is a deep carry clip. The thumb studs are great. The only thing, the reverse flick is money. Thumb studs are money. They just seem to me that they could have been a little bit bigger in size. That might have been, or maybe had a little bit more jimping on them. I'll try to show them to you. There's, again, nothing wrong with the thumb studs. They're right in the perfect path for opening them, especially with your thumb. But for me, if they were just a little bit bigger, they would have a little bit more traction in terms of that reverse flick. So anyway, the Meteora is a very light knife, and it's got a very usable blade. So the blade on it is, we'll get some size comparisons here in a second. I'm guessing this is going to come in right around the size of our PM2. I'm guessing this is about 3.5 inches, but we'll check here in, again, just a little bit. But this Nitro-V is heat treated to 60 to 61, according to the website. The designer of this knife, who I've got to give a lot of mad props to, because the way this handle integrates into this spine and the way these contoured handles fit into your hand, it just makes this knife ergonomically, I dare say, perfect. I mean, it feels almost perfect in the hand. I've used it to cut a good bit of cardboard. I don't get any fatigue. And I'm going to mispronounce this name, but the designer on this knife is Evgeniy, Evgeniy. I think that's Evgeniy Bulychev, or Bulychev, which is Bulychev. Designed this knife, and is also a knife maker that this knife was kind of derived from. But really nice, tall, flat ground blade, PVD coated. You got a nice swedge, and this kind of low area on the spine is all jimping. So when I put this in my hand, if I want to keep my finger back, which, newsflash, I don't, but if I want to, this jimping's so flexible to my grip, it lays right on, my thumb lays perfectly in the jimping. I hold this knife right up here. I do a lot when it doesn't have a flipper tab. I like to have my finger closer to the blade because it's keeping material out of that cutting or that sharpening choil, which is done very well. And I let my finger rest right up at the end of that jimping. So it not only gives me positive traction, it gives me amazing, I guess you'd say, cutting posture or cutting stance. This knife has not been stropped. It has cut a ton of cardboard. We'll cut a little more right here. Came from Kizer, exceptionally sharp. I think a lot of it is just due to great blade geometry for a knife that's set up to be a cutter. I just didn't follow that cut through. Going to a little. Very slicey, very slick. When I say slick, I mean it moves through material very smoothly. I'll have to clean the blade up because that blue tape does make it kind of, I guess you'd call it, gummed up and messes with the geometry just a little bit, but I can get that off. But the branding on this knife, it's not excessive by any means, but you see it because the knife could be so much more muted. You see the Kizer on the show side. Again, you've got a reversible clip. And then you've got Meteora. And the only reason I'm pronouncing it that way is it's Meteor with an A at the end, right? And then that star logo, I'm assuming that is Evgeniy's maker's mark. Very, very comfortable, guys. I mean, again, contoured handles, very round. You've got this nice back spacer. You've got this very well jimped liner. I don't know if you can see that jimping for the liner lock, which makes it very easy to disengage. It's got really good detent. So much so that sometimes I have trouble reverse flicking it. But it's really tuned for that top flip. But you've got the studs. And the studs, I find you just push straight up towards the pivot and they fire out. Instead of trying to push out this way, I just like to go straight up. 100% drop shut. And again, under 70 bones. Richlite is a material I'm not that familiar with. I've not had a lot of experience with it, but I really do like the way it looks. And the best I can describe it, it's been described to me, because it does have some texture on it, but it's been described to me as paper micarta similar, which would mean, you know, pressed, a material pressed together under a lot of pressure and heat, which makes sense. To me, it just looks like, has the appearance, the visual appearance of some of the stabilized wood I've seen on TRM, Three Rivers Manufacturing knives. So let's do a couple of quick size comparisons and I'll get you some measurements. Look at it next to our Bugout. It's going to be just a little bit bigger than Bugout, but close. It's close to Bugout size. It's going to be closer to the Bugout size than it is to the PM2. PM2 is going to be considerably longer. The Bugout, right about the same size. It's probably got 1/8 of an inch on the Bugout. So let's get the tape measure. Oh, and here's a Sharpie for those of you guys who might not have one of those knives to compare it to, just to get scale. But that's it next to a regular size Sharpie. Comes in right under 7 3/4 inches. The blade is right under 3 1/4. The handle is 4 1/2 inches. The inside grip is 3 1/2 inches. So 3 1/2 inches from right here to right here. Where I grip it is, we'll call it 4 1/8. So 4 1/8 from here to here. This is not a finger choil, but it can be used as one. It really works as one. It's kind of where my hand just naturally falls. But that's up to you. You know, I'm not a back here kind of guy. The beauty of the engineering here is you've got the jimping on the spine and that depression in the spine, or that little slope or that convex area, which really lets your finger lock in. So I would think for doing cutting vegetables, cutting things on a cutting board, it would work excellently. For push cuts, it works great. For pull cuts, it would work great. You could use it as a Slurpee saver. It does have a kind of a spear point, drop point blade. Not much of a splinter digger, but you could definitely make do of it. It's definitely got a defined point. Deep carry clip that rides in and out of pocket very well. And with it being contoured, it's very soft in the pocket. So I think it's just a very good carry. And again, a very usable carry. And I found myself, as much as, like I've told everybody on the channel, if you're new to the channel, my least favorite way to deploy a knife has always been the top flipper. I like the middle finger flick and I like thumb studs. This knife, even though the thumb studs are excellent, I just missed it. Even though the thumb studs are excellent, the front flipper works very well too. It's got jimping that ties into the same jimping right here, and it's just an absolute winner. Thin blade stock, like I say, that's where the slicey comes from. So we're dealing with blade stock that's 0.1185. Behind the edge, that's going to come down to, what's that, 0.0200. And then the handle, I'm guessing is going to be right under half an inch, 0.4880. So right around a ½ inch thick. Very well done, unique knife, a budget knife by my categorization. I put everything under $100, and then you got under $50. So if budget's different for you, I totally understand. But this one's going to run you under 70 bones, but I think you get a lot of value for that 70 bones. You get Nitro-V steel, you get Richlite, which is a nice handle material. It feels good in the hand, it looks good, and the knife functions well. It cuts well, it's got fantastic action. I think it's a winner, guys. 3¼ inch blades. Let's see how much it weighs. And then we will be donezo. Sorry if I drug along there, guys. So 3.6 ounces. I'm not mad at that at all. That's right around that 3¼ so I think that's going to be just about fine for me. Again, the Kizer Meteora, and I say that because it's spelled Metora. Nice knife, just became available back in July, so you haven't seen them out for a while, but check it out. Guys, thank you for watching. Channel members, thank you for your support. Anybody who comes in and watches my knife and EDC content, I appreciate you. If you'd be so inclined, if you hit that subscribe button and that bell notification icon so it'll notify you when I release videos, hit the like button with the dislike button, and most importantly, look out for the guy or gal to your left. Please look out for the guy or gal to your right. Look out for one another. Go forward with love in your heart and choose debate, not hate. I love you all. Peace.